Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Jackson Show. I'm your host, Jackson Solomon, and today I'm going to be recapping the college football playoff semifinal round. You can hear the excitement in my voice as the college football national championship is tonight. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into this. We are on a time limit, so if this is 10 minutes, if it's 15 minutes, if it's 30 minutes, that's just how it worked out. But we're going to start in the semifinal round, the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, number 10 Miami, coming off a surprising upset win over the defending national champion, the Buckeyes from Ohio State. We don't like them. They took on the Ole Miss Rebels, who defeated the SEC champion Georgia in the All-State Sugar Bowl. And you head out to Arizona, and I mean, geez Louise. Okay, so the scoring kind of gets out. It's a more balanced game in the first half. Actually, it was a balanced game throughout. Field goal, touchdown by Ole Miss. Keelan Lacey, 73-yard touchdown run, a two-play drive from Ole Miss. And if you watch that run, I want you to go back. If you've seen the run, go back and watch J.K. Dobbins in 2019, the touchdown run he had in the Fiesta Bowl versus Clemson. It is iconic, and it is nearly identical to this game. But yes, gets Ole Miss on the board, and then Shamar Brown with a 4-yard touchdown run. Miami takes the lead 10-7. An Ole Miss field goal ties things up. Keelan Marion wide open from Carson Beck, 17-10. Field goal from Ole Miss, and that's the halftime score, 17-13. A couple of more field goals for Ole Miss to open up the second half, make it 17-19. And then Malachi Tony screen pass, wide open touchdown from Carson Beck, takes it all the way to the house and makes it a 24-19 game. And then Daquan Wright with a 24-yard touchdown reception from Trinidad Chambliss. They get the 2-point conversion, make it 27-24. And then Carson Beck, the play of the season at that point for Miami, as he runs in a touchdown following a 15-play series. And that would be the game-winning score, as it would end the game and Ole Miss's season. They would have an opportunity at a Hail Mary, controversial call. We'll get into that in a moment. But what I really think, Miami, first of all, this was a great game. Totally offensive game for sure. I think, because you look at the numbers, and it's not great for Ole Miss. They had less yards. They were worse on third down. Time of possession wasn't in their favor. Yet, they had multiple opportunities to take the lead. So they really, realistically could have won this game. They won the turnover battle. Like, this could have been an Ole Miss win. Why wasn't it? I honestly believe it was really Miami's defense. Ole Miss had plenty of opportunities to get on the field, score touchdowns, score points. Yet Miami kind of just didn't allow that to happen. Like, when Ole Miss got the ball in third quarter, you figured they were going to go down the field, they were going to score. Instead, that series ends in a field goal. And there were a couple of missed kicks by Ole Miss. I mean, yeah, Trinidad Chambliss didn't have a bad game. Carson Beck won the game's offensive MVP. Jacoby Thomas won defensive MVP. And it wasn't necessarily a bad game for Ole Miss. It was Miami played better. And that's honest. You look at the stats, and the stats don't tell the whole story, because if you watch the game, you could just see Miami's defense was balling, right? Miami defensively, they should have won this game. But you look at the stats, and it's like Ole Miss was much better throwing the ball. They ran it much better. They didn't have more yards, but they ran it better. And so you're really like, man, how did Ole Miss lose this game? And it's just kind of like the defense wins championships aspect of it. When you get down to the Final Four, it really comes in handy. And we're going to see that this weekend in the NFL, that really when you have a good defense, it gets you to some far places. and get you where you want to go. And Miami's impressed against Ohio State. It impressed against Texas A&M. Although I didn't read too much into that Texas A&M win because it's just kind of like it's A&M. You know? It's expected. But what they did against Ohio State kind of put them on my radar, and what they did for Ole Miss, an Ole Miss offense that was one of the more explosive Ole Miss offenses that I'd seen. It wasn't surprising, but it was kind of because this offense in the playoff had scored at least 35 points, and in this game they scored 27. So, yeah, it certainly put them on my radar. So I want to talk about the Hail Mary call because a lot of people are talking about that's why Ole Miss lost the game. You can't guarantee that they score a touchdown, even if they do get the 2-point conversion. Even if they get the PI, they still have to go for it because it moved the ball from the 30 to the, like, if they were at the 33, 15 would be the 20 or the 18-yard line. There's no guarantee they score a touchdown. It's not guaranteed. What I will say is because it definitely should have been PI. I'd have to watch the play in its entirety, have it like a camera follow the entire play. But at the end of it, there was no way he was going to catch the ball because the defender was kind of grabbing him and shoving him into the ground. There's no way he's playing the ball in that situation. And so, I mean, yeah, it's just, I didn't believe it. So, but Ole Miss, incredible season, surprised me, surprised a lot of people, I think, in this season. And Miami's going to the national title game. They're going to play in it tonight. The other semifinal game, which, honestly, I watched this game, and it was a little bit shocking. The final score was 56-22. I feel like, but I'm going to break it down first. So Indiana gets off to a hot start, right? Pick six, return for a touchdown, 7-0. Then Oregon goes down the field. They score. Jamari Johnson from Dante Moore. Then you get a couple of touchdowns from Fernando Mendoza, one to Omar Cooper. Kalen Black runs in a touchdown. Another one, Fernando Mendoza, touchdown to Charlie Becker. And another one to Elijah Surratt. Halftime score 35-7. Going into the second half, E.J. Williams scores a touchdown to open up the half in the opening series. Jay Harris scores a touchdown for Oregon. Then Surratt and Kalen Black go back-to-back for Indiana, putting this game to bed 56-16. And then Oregon would score another touchdown. Now, there's some news coming out of this game. First off, Dante Moore announced last week that he'd be returning to Oregon. I'm not surprised. Was a good first season. Of course, he never proved anything to me. I'm not high on Dante Moore still, but there's something that I think he has to prove to, like, he feels that he needs to prove something to some, this year was a good year to develop, but next year going into it, that's your year, man. And Dylan Raiola just committed to Oregon. And I don't think he can re-enter the portal, or that he wants to this late. So, MVPs for the game, defensively, Indiana's D'Angelo Pons, and then the quarterback for Indiana, Fernando Mendoza, both won MVP. For this, I will say, it was much less of a blowout. Indiana made some key mistakes as well. They made some key mistakes, right? I look at the drives. I mean, you get the pick six, right? You got on the field to score a touchdown. You punt, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Okay. Second half, you go touchdown, punt, touchdown, touchdown, kneel. I mean, their defense, I think, really carried the game, and it was mistakes from Oregon that kind of propelled them to the 56. Take away the pick six, take away the fumble recovery, it's 22-35, much closer game than I think everyone expected. Their offense, in my opinion, was unstoppable, right? I mean, 11 for 14 on third down, that kind of proves my point. But still, I mean, like, the pick six really, I think that, I mean, people were talking about this game. It's a blowout. It's not even close. I looked at the score at halftime. It's 35-7, right? I'm thinking, like, this game's not close. Indiana's dominating. They didn't dominate. They looked a little sluggish in this game. In my opinion, they didn't. I mean, they ran it like they wanted to. Yeah. They threw it like they wanted to. Yeah. But in my opinion, they didn't impress me. They didn't look like the team that blew out Alabama, right? They didn't look like that team. They looked like a team that just played a decent game on offense, had a career game on defense, right? I look at the sacks. He had 3 sacks, 10 TFLs. Of course, the interception, that was huge. For a touchdown. And it was like, what else? I mean, they didn't do anything. It's Oregon just beat themselves up. They dug themselves into a hole, and it was too big for them to carry out because Indiana's offense did just a decent job. They didn't turn the ball over. They ran it like they wanted to, and they were able to just kind of win the game like that. Where your defense plays their best game, but your offense really doesn't, they still play decent enough, and it's really what you want. Like, the expectation is for an offense that's not as good, right? It's really, okay, our defense is having a game of their lives. Our offense is not. Can you at least be decent? Can you at least find the end zone a couple of times? Get us into field goal range. Let the defense take care of it. And that's exactly what happened. And Oregon, they beat themselves up. They turned the ball over twice on the opening series. They didn't have their running backs. They didn't have Logan Davidson or Noah Whittington, and that had a severe impact on the game because if those two play, the impact of the game is just different, in my opinion. So, realistically, what I think is Indiana didn't dominate like we thought they did based off the final score. The box score could tell you this thing, it could tell you that, but what I saw from watching the game was they weren't dominant. They just kind of played football. And they didn't play bad football. They just played football. And Oregon, they played bad football. And it's kind of what makes Indiana such this great team. It's where they play together as a group. So if the offense isn't dominating like they did against Alabama, the defense is still doing their job and carrying a little bit. And the offense, not necessarily playing a bad game, but it's just doing decent stuff where, yes, they can find the end zone a couple of times. Like, there was nothing impressive with Indiana's offense in that game. Yeah, they scored 5 times on off. Like, yeah, they put together 4 scoring drives in the first half, but none of them were really impressive drives. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Oregon just kind of shot themselves in the foot, which makes them such a great football team. So that's what I thought about that game. And then tonight, you got the national title game. Indiana, Miami. I'm going to be talking about this game next week as part of the recap. How it went, like, how do I say this? So I said Indiana didn't play its best brand of football on offense. I'm sure Kurt Signett, like, this is what made Indiana so good. They didn't play their best brand of football on offense, but they didn't need to because they straight up dominated. So what does that say for a team like Miami, where if the offense doesn't play good, they can still find a way to win the game? Well, it means you have to play perfect. And it didn't seem like, to me, I don't think they're capable of that. So Plus, Indiana's defense is just way too good. It's going to be hard to stop Indiana's offense because they didn't even play good Friday night, and they still managed to put up 4 scoring touchdowns in the first half. Added on to that in the second. I'm going to take Indiana. I think they're a complete football team. I've seen a lot of people take Indiana. I've not seen anyone take Miami yet. That scares me. It is going to be a home game for Miami. They're playing this at the Miami Stadium. So it is going to be kind of close to home, relatively close, a home game for Miami, but I still think Indiana gets the job done. This was kind of a little, I wouldn't call it an episode, but a brief debriefing of what happened Thursday and Friday night, what I think is going to happen tonight. It was great. I always enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to tune into the next episode of The Jackson Show. And as always, bring a friend.